Ukraine has hit more than half of Russia's major oil refineries. Russian oil is being hit almost daily by long-distance Ukrainian drone attacks. But how much will this help Ukraine? And could this campaign change the course of the war? This southern Russia refinery is one of dozens being repeatedly torched. And if you map this blaze, along with all the others known to have hit Russian refineries this year, it looks like this. The data here represents 100 such fires, the vast majority caused by coordinated Ukrainian attacks, mostly far from the front line. These refineries are getting harder and harder to repair. Some 10% of Russia's oil refining capacity has now been knocked out, according to experts.
10% is not an astonishing number, but it is still something that starts to be felt with the Russian domestic fuel crisis, with the reduced or refined products exports, and general tension inside the Russian oil sector.
The strikes, which are landing with increasing accuracy and effectiveness, demonstrate significant advances in Ukraine's reach and capabilities. New generation long-range drones like the Lyuty and mass kamikaze drone strikes are a big part of Ukraine's expanded arsenal, with the latest generation of UAVs, unmanned aerial vehicles, flying thousands of kilometers. But how great a threat do they represent to Russia's ability to keep up its current level of attacks? Well, oil and gas production is vital to Russia's economy. Exports currently bring in $100 billion annually, which sounds like a lot. But as this graph shows, that revenue has dropped sharply since the start of the war in 2022 and fell 20% just in the last year. For nearly 4 years now, that money has funded an extremely expensive, grinding war on Ukraine. So if Russia suddenly saw a big enough drop in its ability to process oil and gas, could that have a visible effect on the battlefield? Oil refineries in Russian-occupied Crimea have repeatedly been targeted. Take this massive fire, for example, at the Feodosia plant, which is a crucial supply source for the military in that region. The thing to watch is whether the damage to Russia's oil infrastructure outpaces the Kremlin's ability to repair and rebuild.
It might take years before the result will become really visible, so we are not talking about Russian refining collapsing anytime soon. But exhausting its potential, it really started already.
Russian drivers now sometimes face lines that last for kilometers at gas stations. Rationing has begun, and so have price caps for fuel, which puts the bite on sellers. In other words, regular citizens are feeling the pain in just the kinds of ways that Vladimir Putin had been trying to avoid. Military families that benefited from massive signing bonuses and death benefits have now seen those dry up. What's more, Russia has banned gasoline exports and has been shifting to selling more crude oil abroad instead of refined oil at significantly lower prices.
There might be some disruptions in the supply chains just due to the unpredictability of these strikes, but generally I think the army will be the last one to lose fuel supplies in Russia.
So how much disruption to the Russian fuel and revenue equation would it take to actually make a visible difference? Well, Russia has reversed course on a war before, after fossil fuel profits dropped. In 1989, following a global oil glut, the Soviet Union finally withdrew from its war in Afghanistan after a decade, and while facing the collapse of the entire USSR economy. No one is currently predicting this level of crisis for Russia, and the Kremlin still has vast resources at its command. That said, it's now clear that Ukraine's deep strikes campaign has complicated life inside Russia in new and expanding ways.
The most effective sanctions, the ones that work the fastest, are the fires at Russia's oil refineries, its terminals, oil depots. We have significantly restricted Russia's oil industry, and this significantly restricts the war.
For the near term at least, you should expect to see no shortage of viral videos like this one.